Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue, back at Lulu Country Club in Montgomery County. Lulu, where they had a devastating fire in October of last year. The date was October 18th. Within a few days, the staff and management were up and running, and so were the golfers. They were back. The clubhouse, it's being demolished, and there are plans for a beautiful new clubhouse here at Lulu that will be open in the spring of 2017. We'll be back to talk about the plans for the future at this beautiful Donald Ross design. You know, Lulu was the first course that Ross designed in the state of Pennsylvania. We'll be back with our update on Lulu Country Club next, right here on Inside Golf. Inside Golf, presented by Destination Montco Golf, 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life. And Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. By Golf Performance Institute, GPI, better training, better athletes, better golfers. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf. Take time to thank your local PGA golf professional.
I knew I wanted to be like my dad and be a PGA member. Following him around as a kid, I would get to see the players. I didn't really know them, but they knew me because I was Davis's son. You know, we lost him too early. Coming up the 18th fairway at Winged Foot, knowing that I'd won the PGA Championship, and then to see the rainbow, and everybody associated that rainbow with my dad watching over me. I'd like to thank him for just instilling in me what it means to be a professional and be a PGA member.
The best stories end in thanks. Share your story at ThanksPGAPro.com.
The First Tee teaches you golf, but they also teach you life skills.
We learn things you can use everywhere, every day.
Hey guys. Like how to meet people you don't know. I'm Nicholas.
It comes in handy on your first day of school.
Or interviewing for a job.
Thank you.
Some of the best golf lessons have very little to do with golf. The life skills young people learn at the First Tee stay with them long after they leave. Visit thefirsttee.org to learn more.
Hi, I'm Janie. Let's play some golf.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. We are at Lulu Country Club. John Russ, the head pro here at Lulu. And John, who will forget, I know you won't, that day in October of last fall when the world changed, as I said, for you and everybody else here at Lulu. But within days, you guys were up. You had people out on the golf course. And now as we see, the demolition of what was the historic clubhouse is well underway. How did you make it through from October to now with everything that was going on?
We made it through with great support from our members, you know, the township and everybody else involved, the GAP. Everybody's helped us out a lot. We're excited about the plans for the new clubhouse. It's going to be totally golf driven. Indoor simulators, workout areas, great views of the golf course. It's going to be fabulous. Right. So what we see is well on its way to demolition, and it'll basically be on the same footprint of this old building. It will. It's going to be, like I said, a state-of-the-art facility. Nobody's more excited than all of our members. They deserve it, and they're going to get it. So they're going to get a brand new facility, and we're excited. Talk about a little bit the staff. I mean, you're still here. You have Kevin. I have Kevin Nicholson, he's been on the show multiple times, as you know. We brought in the Dom DeJulia School of Golf. We're very excited about them. You're going to do a little segment with them later on. A little bit later on. Yep. And Dom's been around for a long time. And your superintendent's been hard at work on the golf course. Matt Stout. I said last time I said I have a man crush. I still do. The guy's killing it for us. He's put all new irrigation in. The bunkers have all been redone, so we're excited about what he's done out here. It's amazing you could hold everybody together, not knowing exactly where the future was going to take you, but that's a tribute to you and the management and their dedication to Lulu Country Club. You know, it's more the members. The members are helping us get through, and they're keeping everybody together. We're adding new members every day. It's, like I said, it's absolutely tremendous what's going on here right now. People familiar with Lulu who have been here in the past remember the swimming pool area, and right now that is sort of like your temporary clubhouse, right? Yeah. We've put a 1,500 square foot tent in down there. We've put 2 double wide trailers, one for the pro shop, one for an inside bar. So we're ready to get down there in another week or so. That's great. And once again, talk about a timeline for once the demolition is done, construction will begin on the new clubhouse. When do you expect everything to be up and running? Spring of 17. We're going to be up here. We're going to be playing golf, and that's what we're going to be shooting for. Right. Of course, in the meantime, people are still playing golf. We've been busier than ever. We got a full parking lot here this morning as guys are coming in. A lot of them members, a lot of them are fellows from other clubs that come over here.
have gotten used to the great Donald Ross design and take advantage of finally some spring weather.
The golf course is here, and that's what brings people out. The golf course is as best it's been in about 10 years. So.
Yeah, that was the other thing that was not ironic, but nothing on the golf course was damaged by the fire.
Nothing was damaged at all.
Even saved all the members' golf clubs.
That's right. All the firemen pulled all the clubs out.
A tip of the hat to the Upper Dublin Fire Department.
Yep.
Those guys got in there. They got the golf carts out. They got all the golf bags.
Yep.
And unfortunately, you know, the building was engulfed, but they managed to save.
They did a great job.
Memorable things, including I was reading a story. The original charter for Lulu Country Club. The fire chief went in there and found it.
Fire chief, yep. Fire marshal went in himself, got the.
It's amazing.
It's great, yep.
Yeah, it tells you what people can do when times are tough, you know, and what you're doing here, it's a credit to you and your family, trying, as I say, to keep everybody together, the members' support, and to bring Lulu back to the status where it was.
It's absolutely great. Like I said, we just want to thank the township. We want to thank all the firemen and firefighters and all the members, obviously. They're what kept it together, and they're just what's going to help us in the future. You were talking about membership and how you're adding members literally a handful, a dozen or so every couple of weeks. Yep, that's right. We've got some great advertising going on, and people are coming over and checking out the golf course. The golf course is what's going to drive this property, and that's what we're excited about. And, you know, golf, you know, we hear how golf is going through a phase. Maybe it's not as popular as it had been. Rounds are down nationally. You've opened it up not just to members, but also, I mean, you can be a member for a day over here. We do allow some limited outside play. You can come out and play 7 times a week as a member for a day to preview the golf course. But most times people come out once or twice and they said, I want to sign up. Right. And they sign right up. So it's a good program for us. And they know what's ahead next spring. Everybody's excited for that new clubhouse. It's like going to a brand new resort, right? Everybody's excited for that clubhouse. The rebirth of Lulu. All right, as John mentioned, stay with us. More to come from Lulu Country Club. Down to Julia, new addition. You need a little swing tip, he's the man, right? He is the man. I've worked with him for 20 years. So. He's going to be part of the fabric here at the new Lulu. What you're going to do is determine your starting line. Well, stay with us. More to come here on Inside Golf from Lulu. But up next, another fitness tip from the folks at the Golf Performance Institute. We are back at Golf Performance Institute, GPI in Mount Laurel with Brett Michener. And Brett, I know from talking to you over time, there's that intersection here at GPI of physical training / therapy and then actual golf lessons. You have somebody here that deals with at least half of that equation, and you're going to introduce him to us today, huh?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it is about teamwork. This is Phil Coles. He's one
Come on over, Phil. Don't be shy.
No, I'm never shy.
You're the star of the show. Come on in here.
Appreciate it.
One of our great teaching pros locally.
So, Phil, you're going to work today with one of your young students. What exactly do you work on with Jack?
You know, Jack's a high school player, and he's been playing for 2.5 years. And what I noticed when I first started working with him was his spine tilting throughout the swing, which we see in a lot of juniors. We see a lot of golfers all around.
Is that when they talk about maintain that spine angle?
Correct.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, correct. Okay. And then there's an appropriate way of doing it. And what we do here at GPI is we look at rotational power, moving circular versus tilting.
Right.
Jack was doing a lot of tilting, which was causing some pain in his swing, also losing power. So he started hitting drivers roughly, 220 yards, and now he's hitting them over 300 yards within 8 months.
Wow. So it's just that maintaining of the, and maybe Jack, as you stand there, you can show us a little bit, show us what he was doing and what you worked on to get him away from that.
Jack, face us, please. Thank you. Okay. Now, when Jack was swinging, he was tilting down. And you see a lot of people do this because this is where the golf ball is right here, so they want to tilt down to find the ball. So what we have Jack now doing is rotating properly so that he can get some rotational power. And then Jack, go ahead and slowly use your hips here. So you can move his hips and then fire that body around. And like I said, it's one big circle, you know, and that's how he's going to be able to develop some power and consistent ball striking.
There you go, from 220 to 300 yards, may work for you. Thanks for joining us, Phil.
My pleasure, thank you.
All right, and remember, better training, better athletes, and better golf at the Golf Performance Institute in Mount Laurel. Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine, published by former Eagles tight end Ken Dunnick, is everything you want in a publication catering to men's interest. Enjoy articles on politics, business, the mob, wine, food, fitness, and travel. Written by the likes of George Anastasia, Bill Lyon, Sam Carchidi, and Mike Kern. Want to grow your business? Ask for information on our Legacy and Chairman Clubs. They meet regularly and can be a valuable tool for your company. Subscriptions are only $20 a year for 6 issues. They're available at jerseymanmagazine.com. Welcome back to Inside Golf. We're here at Lulu Country Club, and this is Dom DeJulia. Dom, good to see you again.
Welcome.
Dom DeJulia well, you see the brand, DeJulia Golf, and as you heard from John Rusk earlier, Dom DeJulia, who has been at Jericho for, almost 20 years?
Just about.
Is now kind of expanding, and the footprint now will include Lulu. You'll be giving lessons over here. You'll be part of the rebirth of Lulu Country Club. You got to be excited about that.
I'm really excited about it. The club's got a neat history. We know a few of the members, and I've known John, as he said, for quite a while.
So let's fast forward a little bit, okay? They had the devastating fire here at Lulu in October of last year, and is that what kind of got you together when you heard that they were going to maybe branch out and develop a whole new clubhouse and everything else?
We were talking actually a little bit before that.
Okay.
So John's just very passionate about golf. He
loves the game.
He loves the game. He loves giving people the opportunity to get better and play. And now all of a sudden, with what happened with the clubhouse, well, we're going to have new facilities, indoor simulator, practice in the winter, so year-round, fitness center, whatnot. Over on the range, he's going to build us a teaching area. So it's just a very definite commitment to his membership and for the opportunity to improve your game, basically.
Well, I know a lot of people have taken advantage. You're a 2-time Philadelphia PGA Teacher of the Year. And you've, as I said, had your brand up there at Jericho. So now you're going to be going back and forth between the 2 venues, right?
Right. So we have, we've had some nice success, especially with junior players. We work with a lot of competitive junior players. We have a coach that's going to be spending, Coach Mark Waller is going to be spending the majority of the time here. I'll come down here from time to time, and this is going to be an opportunity for him to really have a place to kind of set up shop and really have his success. We kind of talk about 3 kinds of players. You're recreational, you're just out there having fun, you're not really working on your game.
Maybe you just play half a dozen times a year or something like that.
That's fine, that's how I fish, right? I'm a recreational fisherman. I don't know anything about it.
It's a good way of putting it.
Okay. Then we have committed players who are doing something to work on their game. They're watching TV, they're practicing a little bit, they're directing their fitness in the direction of golf, they're practicing once in a while, whatever they're doing, they need leadership basically, and that's what we provide. And then, we have, moving up from there, competitive players who are very serious, they're putting in meaningful time and resources, and they have very, serious goals, and so we help both the club player who's committed to his game and typically for us, it's the younger players who are committed to earning their high school spot on their team, getting a college scholarship, doing well when they're in college, and some of our players are trying to play beyond college as well.
I'm sure a question you get a lot from parents maybe, when's the right age to start a youngster, boy or girl, getting lessons?
So coaching is valuable in anything in life, in my opinion. So that's a personal philosophy. So it's what we say for a couple things is through age 12, we want parents to know the kid should be doing multiple sports. There should not be early specialization. It's a formula for injury, it's a formula for burnout, frustration. So we don't want early specialization. That does not mean, however, that having a coaching opportunity and a seasonal relationship with golf, that's a great idea. We like to balance the passion, the effort, and the interest of the player with the opportunity that they're presented with. So the triangle of the parent providing opportunity, us providing the leadership and the direction, and the athlete, having the passion and the effort, that's the balance, and it's different for every kid. But the sooner the better, because you know how kids, if they're capable of learning 2 languages at age 5, 6, 7, whatever, they're learning machines. So let's get them started right, and that gives them the opportunity to get to higher levels.
How much satisfaction do you get out of seeing somebody, and not necessarily a professional like John Rusk was, but just say maybe a 15 handicapper come back and within a year maybe they're a 10 handicapper? That's a big step, I know. What do you draw from that?
I'll give you an example. So we had one of our young men was a 22 and got down to a 7 last year. Was the most improved golfer in Philadelphia in 2015. That's everything. That's what it's about. I played, and for me, what I learned about myself through playing full-time, I had 4 years to play full-time, I learned that I love golf, but what I really love is the pursuit of mastery. It's that trying to get to the next step that really kind of makes me tick. And so helping someone else who also shares that passion and having the information and the ability to help them navigate the journey, it's great, it's fun.
Now, you know, you can hear in the background the demolition work. It's just a matter of steps away from where we're standing. This is a whole new phase in your life, too. This is a big step. I imagine having your brand move from Jericho over to Lulu, getting involved with maybe some old clients, but also a whole new possible list of clients that will be coming and meeting with you and your staff here at Lulu. It's got to be a fun time.
It's a very fun time. We've had, as you said, we've been there for a long time at Jericho, and we've really put together a philosophy and a brand that's been proven over a period of time. So we're very excited to share that with more players.
Dom, before we say goodbye to you, you mentioned how you had given John Rusk a lesson or two a few years ago. Well, let's update it to the present. Do you feel like maybe one more tip for
Piece of
John?
cake.
Huh?
He's a stud. It's pretty easy to help him.
Let's get a look at John's game with the tutorage of Mr. DeJulia.
Hey Don, we get a lot of questions. How do you keep the ball from going right out of bounds? You're the expert. Why don't you tell us how to do that?
All right, so one of the keys here at Lulu is we want to be able to hit shots that start down the trouble side and move away from the trouble. The course is on the narrower side, so we do not want our ball curving towards the trouble. Let's talk about how to do that. I'm going to lay down a couple of sticks. We're going to start the ball down the right side of the fairway, and we're going to use the white stick as our intended target line. That's where we're going to get that ball starting. In order to make the ball curve, we need to have our swing moving in the opposite direction of the curve. So if we want a ball curving left, we need to swing to the right. So I'm setting down that blue stick as a visual of where I want my club head moving at impact. So I got my club head moving to the right at impact. To get the ball to curve now, I simply need my club face, indicated by the red line here, moving left of the club path at impact. To get the ball to curve left, get your path to the right and your face to the left of path, facing where you want the ball to go. That's going to get the ball starting up the right side, curving back to the left. If it stays straight, we're okay. If it curves left, we're okay. We don't want the ball curving towards the trouble on a narrow golf course. You said I was the expert in knowing how to hit the shot. You're the one who can actually hit them. Let's see you give it a rip.
All right, Dom, show me how to hit a draw.
All right, one of the things we've talked about in the past, John, is simply when you get set, drop your right foot back about a half a foot width. That sets up your path to the right. Get your face down the right side. There it is, folks. Ball starting up the right side, curving away from the trouble. That'll keep you in bounds on those tight holes. Your move still looks good, buddy.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you coming out.
All right.
Well, it looks like the chemistry is still there between Dom and John, thanks to those guys. And there's more to come on Inside Golf. Coming up next is our teed off panel.
Sign of the times, unfortunately.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. It's time for our teed off segment here at the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort. Joining us today, Harry Mays is back from 97.5 The Fanatic every weekday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and from myphillygolf.com, Mr. Joe Logan. Gentlemen, we have another sort of a major for the senior tour. It is the Champions Tour coming to Philadelphia at Philadelphia Cricket Club. June 7th to June 12th, I believe, is going to be the Senior Players Championship. Of course, the regular tour, Harry plays down at Sawgrass. They move this around for the Champions Tour, and it's going to be at Philly Cricket Club. And some pretty big names have signed up. Tommy Watson's going to be there. Mr. Jimenez, who has done very well in the last
Don't forget John Daly.
Well, John Daly, we'll get to that later.
What about Bernhard?
Well, he's the two-time defending champion. It's sort of the event, though, there isn't much juice, Joe, so far, and hopefully everybody's seeing this on Inside Golf, and we're going to do a show too from the Cricket Club to talk about it. But do you think this will get a big turnout?
Yeah, because I think Philadelphia supports golf. And this will be the first significant tournament in town since the U.S. Open at Marion in 2013.
Now, you may argue some of the club pros, of course, with the cricket club a couple of years ago, but you're right.
But
it doesn't have the same pizzazz.
They're club professionals, but they're not tour professionals like these guys are. These guys are the stars of yesteryear. In many cases, like Bernhard Langer, they're still stars of today. It's different. It's a different kind of golf.
It is.
And I think people will support it. Certainly, it won't be the kind of crowds you got at the U.S. Open, but the hardcore golf crowd will be out there, that's for sure.
Talk about some changes to the golf course necessitated by some of the tight quarters they have, especially around the 18th hole. Because there's not much ground for grandstands and things like that, 18 normally is not going to be the 18th hole for that event. They're going to move it, and I believe it's the 4th hole on the front 9 that's going to be actually the closing hole. Is that going to make a difference to you, or you, Harry, as somebody who has been to the Wissahickon course at Philly Cricket, or not?
To me, it won't. I mean, I've never had the pleasure of playing that course, so it won't do much damage for me, but it's about, these days, logistics, you know, for these golf courses. In order to be able to house these championships, you've got to be able to, if they're looking forward to maybe hosting a PGA, a regular PGA championship or tour event, these are the things that have to be done. So I just look at it as sort of a sign of the times, unfortunately.
Well, Joe, on that same theme of changing the 18th hole, it's one of the most iconic closing holes, not just in Philadelphia, but anywhere. And just last year when they had the National Club Pro Championship there, the leader dunked his second shot into the creek, and it cost him the championship.
Within Philadelphia golf, that is regarded as perhaps the greatest finishing hole in Philadelphia. Marion may argue, but
Pine Valley may argue.
Pine Valley may argue. But everybody loves it. And the thing about it is, it's such a hard hole. I used to argue that my problem with that hole was that it was so hard that many a match was determined at the 18th by a double bogey. You know, a bogey would win a match. But for the pros, it's a different game, and it's a shame. I know they want to show off that hole as their finishing hole, but the hole they're moving it to, the 4th, which is a really reconstituted par 5 5th with a gazillion bunkers, is also going to be a great hole to finish on. If you can't finish on the real 18th, maybe this will be a good substitute.
All right, we talked about some of the people who are going to play. Bernhard Langer, 2-time defending champion. I don't know how he does it at the age of 50.
He's a machine.
He can compete, as we saw recently at Augusta, among the young guys. We talked about Tom Watson. Freddie Couples probably, I don't know, he's got injuries, so he might be out. Then we mentioned John Daly and Jimenez. Talk about Daly a little bit. It's, I don't want to say it's a sideshow.
It is.
He comes in here based on his reputation from years ago, and you know, he was a 2-time major winner, and here he is playing in this event. I mean, would you go out just to see John Daly?
Well, absolutely. I've seen him play. I've walked with his group a few times at the old Greater Greensboro Open when I lived down in North Carolina, and he's still, I think, you know, somebody worth watching. I mean, he's John Daly. I mean, people can identify with him and all his faults, you know, and he wears great clothes, and he still hits the ball a mile. You know, it's still, I think he's definitely worth coming out to watch.
And another guy I think a lot of people want to see is the most interesting man in golf, if not the world, Miguel Angel Jimenez.
If only to watch his warm-up routine.
Yes. Yeah, they haven't seen that at the cricket club lately. I don't think so.
Who else would you want to drink a nice glass of red and smoke a cigar with than that guy?
Overlooking that, on that beautiful patio, overlooking the normal 18th green, right? The most interesting man that week in Philadelphia is going to be here, Miguel Angel Jimenez. June 7th to June 12th, Harry's going to be there, Joe's going to be there, I'm going to be there. Why don't you show up as well? We'll have a party, like Harry said. Cigar, little wine, doesn't get any better than that. Thanks for joining us for Teed Off. Inside Golf is back with more in just a moment. The Valley Forge Casino Resort is the region's only full amenity gaming resort, and it's only seconds from the Pennsylvania Turnpike at King of Prussia. It features 600 slots, 50 table games, and there are nearly 500 guest rooms, plus 8 restaurants designed to meet all of your dining needs. So put the beautiful Valley Forge Casino Resort on your destination list.
At the first tee, they're teaching us how to set goals. It doesn't matter how big or small they are.
I want to break 80 someday.
My goal is to go to college.
Someday, I'm going to be the 4th female president of the United States. Maybe 5th.
Some of the best golf lessons have very little to do with golf. The life skills young people learn at the first tee stay with them long after they leave. Visit thefirsttee.org to learn more.
One of my goals is to get on TV. Check.
In 2008, 13-year-old Lester Bell snuck through the fence of Cedar Crest Golf Course. That's where PGA professional Ira McGraw first met him. But back home, Lester had given up hope for a future. So Ira gave the young man a job, became his friend, and 3 years later, his legal guardian. Today, Lester's still golfing, and he hasn't given up since. The best stories end in thanks. Share your story at ThanksPGAPro.com.
Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. We've been talking to John Rusk, the head golf professional here at Lulu Country Club. And John, just want to reiterate, final pitch to those people driving by Limekiln Pike right outside here. They look up and they say, hey, what's going on at Lulu? We know a lot's going on at Lulu, and we'll continue until you get that new clubhouse next spring. But if they're interested, what do they got to do to get involved?
Just you want a fun place to play, you want an affordable place, come see us. We'll take care of you and come join the fun.
And as you saw with Dom DeJulia, he's going to be here on a regular basis with a little swing tip or two to get that game just like the new Lulu in tip-top condition.
That's right. Yep.
We'll be back in the fall when all this demolition work in the background will be complete, and we'll see the rebirth of a new Lulu clubhouse.
Thanks for coming out, Harry. Appreciate
Exciting times for you guys.
It is good. It's good stuff.
All right, thanks. John Rusk. And remember, like I said, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, could be going worse, right?
Yeah.
Don't pick up. We'll see you in the fall here at Lulu, and we'll see you next week right here on Inside Golf. Inside Golf, presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life. And Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. By Golf Performance Institute, GPI, better training, better athletes, better golfers. And by the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf. Take time to thank your local PGA golf professional.